Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Steele, and today I'll be talking about this study that we read regarding the behavior change communication campaign regarding condom use that was published in Cases in Public Health Communication and Marketing, and how it aligns with one of the health behavior models known as the trans-theoretical model of behavior change. So here's an outline of what I'll be discussing today. First, I'll describe the trans-theoretical model of behavior change. I'll talk about its origins, how it can be used, the 5 stages of behavior change, as well as the 4 basic constructs of the theory. Next, I'll describe how the study that we read aligns with each of those 4 constructs. I'll discuss my opinions regarding how well or not well the study aligned with this theory. I'll discuss if the study aligned better with other theories, and I'll give examples of why that may be the case. I'll go into greater detail about the strengths and weaknesses of the interventions that the authors implemented, as well as how I would have altered the project in order to better align with the trans-theoretical model of behavior change. So let's start with the premise of the theory. It was originally designed to explain addictive behaviors and the concept of addiction recovery. A prime example of this would be smoking cessation. It focuses on the individual and their readiness and attempts to change their behavior. The basic concept includes 5 stages of behavior change, which are pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. These stages incorporate people who have no intention of changing their behavior, all the way to people who have changed their behavior for greater than 6 months, as well as everything in between. Additionally, it states that people at different levels can benefit from different approaches from the perspective of the provider. By serving as a reference, this can help providers give each patient the appropriate intervention based on which stage of change they may be in. This theory has 4 constructs that I'll define and then describe how the study aligns with each. The first is the stages of change, which I've already discussed. Next is decisional balance, which describes how the patient weighs the pros and cons of behavior change and how the balance of this perception changes as the patients progress or regress to different stages. Then there's self-efficacy, which is the level of confidence that a patient has in their ability to achieve and maintain the behavior change. It also involves the temptation of reverting back to the original behavior due to stress or other factors. The last construct is the process of change. This involves all of the different tools that can be used to help a person change their behavior. First, let's talk about the stages of change. This construct revolves around the patient and their mentality regarding behavior change. The study targeted men that used condoms inconsistently, which likely means that they were either in the contemplation or preparation stage. Never users were likely in the pre-contemplation stage and likely difficult to help change their behavior at that time. The authors tried to focus on those that were likely to change their behavior. However, the study was largely taken at a population level, and participants were not focused on an individual basis. Of course, the size and scope of this study didn't make for individual attention easy to focus on. This is kind of a theme throughout the entire presentation. Next is decisional balance. Again, I found it really difficult to find where this study actively used this construct. The authors identified 4 beliefs that they targeted in the education materials that they provided to the people, like in the street plays. So, by changing the participants' views of these beliefs, the authors sought to change their viewpoint on the pros of condom use. Additionally, they tried to change the participants' viewpoint regarding the severity of HIV, which would be the cons of not using condoms. In theory, those that started to use condoms more consistently started to see the benefits of such a behavior change. Next is self-efficacy. While the authors certainly left the decision as to whether to use condoms or not up to the participants, acknowledging the level of confidence that each patient has to adhere to the behavior change requires a relationship with each individual patient. Undoubtedly, each participant faced challenges and stressors that could have shaken their resolve to commit to condom use. However, it doesn't appear that the authors worked with each participant to ever really address these issues. Again, their methods included more broad education by using plays and other things in order to reinforce the message. The last construct is the process of change. This construct refers to the various types of tools that providers can use to help different patients who are in different stages of behavior change succeed in their goals. Different approaches may work for different patients. This is one construct that I really think the authors certainly did not work to apply at all. This is because their teaching methods revolved around the street plays, and education is just one of the processes of change that are available. They didn't work to change the message delivery system, despite the near certainty that different participants were in different stages of the behavior change model. They really just focused on the education side of things rather than other components or other processes of change. Despite the difficulties with aligning this study to the constructs of the trans-theoretical model of behavior change, there were some components that did seem to line up well. For example, while education methods were more broad-based, the initial questionnaire regarding what motivates the participants to use condoms includes very personal questions. Again, however, overall, I really found that this study did not align with this theory very well. The strengths of this study included that it seemed to organize the structure of the questionnaire, like I just mentioned, and it put the questionnaire in context of the issue of condom use. However, the weaknesses of this theory really showed through. For example, the theory does not take into account social and environmental factors. Both of these are huge components of the study that was completed. Additionally, this study focused on population statistics rather than individual patient care, which is what this particular model works to improve. If I were to change the design or improve upon it, I would really focus on more personalized participant interaction. Now, given that is not a perfect fix because this would really limit the scope of the study. Really, overall, I think that the health behavior model fits much better with this particular study. The health behavior model focuses on education as well as finding other reasons why people are reluctant to change their behavior. And I really think that it attacks the things like this study, which come from a more population-based and education-based approach. But that's all I've got. Thank you for paying attention, and I look forward to discussing with you in the comments section. Thanks.